Hi and welcome to Painting in the Shed. I wanted to do a quick video about me painting a portrait and also talk about portraits in general. These are the colours I use for this particular portrait here, and I start off using the white and the yellow ochre and the flesh tint and stuff, and I start putting in all the shadows. The photograph I'm copying from is actually been altered with a filter, so it has got a lot of blue shadows and things, and the colours are a little bit different than your usual like portrait, you know, standard one. The colours are going to be different than a real person, you know what I mean? It's got a filter on it, so you can see I'm adding a bit of blue into this. It's a bit like the painting that I did here. I used a photograph, but I decided to limit my palette to certain colours and add more greens and blues, and so this picture is very similar. You can see here there's a lot of blue in the shadow with the burnt umber and burnt sienna and stuff that I'm adding in here. This does make painting a portrait a little bit difficult, but I find it interesting. I find it very fascinating to do these kind of portraits where you are having to change the colours slightly. I'm using bristle brushes, and I'm just using a very small amount of paint. And how you get the drawing on the canvas in the first place is totally up to you. Some people spend a long time, doing a grid method where they grid out a photograph and then they grid the canvas and they sort of apply the same, sort of mathematical way of doing it. Or you can do it by eye. You can do it by freehand, just doing it by eye. I do like to copy from photos because it means I can just go back to it whenever I want. The lighting's the same and all that. You don't have to make someone sit for you, and I find that quite a lot of pressure. So I always work from photos. So yeah, and there are so many different ways you can get the actual outline on the canvas. That's not important. The important part is actually painting it and using the colours. I find the colours the hardest part. But I actually love doing portraits. I know I do a lot of other paintings, but I think drawing faces and people is one of my favourite things to do. I can get lost for hours doing a portrait. I can spend days on it and just really love doing faces. And it's something I had to learn quite early on when I first started painting. My parents bought me acrylic paints when I was about 10 or 11 years old, because I was doing drawing up until then. I was doing sketching and drawing with pens and pencils because I had a lot of control on it. I thought painting was so different and so hard to do, but I wanted to do paintings of that I liked, like Star Wars and things like that, films that I loved in the 80s and 90s. I loved the posters, the poster art, and that's kind of what got me into art, really. So if you look at the painting, this is all these ones I did when I was 11 years old, and you can see those are my Star Wars paintings, and those literally were the first acrylic paintings I ever did. This is when I was about 15-ish, I can't really remember, but you can see I'm getting a bit better, and obviously these are the ones I've done recently, but that's the reason why I learned to paint people, is because I wanted to paint posters for films, and I'm lucky I did practice when I was younger, because now I can do portraits for people, and I've sort of taught myself that skill of painting faces, and now I actually enjoy it. I remember the first time I did them, the Star Wars paintings, I was absolutely frustrated with faces. I hated them, but now I really enjoy it because it's just, it's so subtle. It's almost like you have to be as good as a makeup artist. You have to be that subtle with the colours. Any little smudge, every little mark makes a huge difference on the expression of the face. So don't worry if you spend a long time on the face. Don't worry if you spend days and weeks on a face, because it is really difficult to get it right. Doing the lips here, using a bit of crimson in with the mix, but I still got a lot of blue in there. It's almost purple. It was really hard to actually kind of go against what my natural instinct was, to use the normal colours for a face, and actually go against that and use these more purpley tones and stuff because of the image I was copying from. But I really did enjoy it. I mean, these are sort of straightforward portraits that I do for people, straightforward on looking faces and stuff like that, but I do like to try other things. This is like a pin-up style painting I did of someone. I really enjoyed doing that. I loved that. And this is one where I kind of gave up painting the face, and I just let the paint run and spill, because the eyes were the most important part, and I just let the rest of it kind of just spill out and be loose. This one here, I love the eyes on this one. She's got amazing eyes, and I painted a lion next to her, and I kind of sketched and used different media, and I really enjoyed doing this painting. It's a very big painting, and I really enjoyed that one. But going back to what we're doing here, I used a lot of black, but I always mix in a bit of blue or a bit of burnt umber in with the black as well. You can see here, it's, you know, these eyes actually were really difficult, because the whites of the eyes are obviously blue, and I know the eyes are actually brown eyes, but because of the blue in the colour of the image I was copying, it kind of came out green looking. So I just went with what I had in front of me. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it green, and that's what I'm going to do. So you can see here that there is quite a bit of green in the eyes, but all the colours are quite muted. I think I went back at the very end and added, you know, more colour to the whole face. But eyes are really difficult to do. I mean, this painting here, I really enjoyed doing the eyes on this one. Sorry, the picture's a bit blurred, but I just love the simplicity of that one. I didn't use hardly any brush strokes. I just left it as these. I love it when you get light shining through the eye and you get that amber colour coming through. I really enjoyed doing those eyes. But sometimes they're just black like that, you know, just little black blobs with a little white bit inside, and sometimes you don't even see the eyes. So you can do portraits like this where you don't even see the eyes if you don't want to show them, you know. You can choose the way you want to do it. That's why I love painting people, because you can choose the expression you want to show and personality and all that through the whole painting. This is a lot of black now and Prussian blue, and I think that's pretty much it in the hair. Maybe a little bit of yellow ochre in the hair, maybe a little bit of brown, just to soften it slightly. It's a very small canvas. It's only 8 by 8 inches, and it goes in a really nice small little white frame, and they look quite nice like that. So that's the actual, that's the finished painting here. Yeah, quite enjoyed painting that. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching my videos, and see you again soon.